What's good, everyone? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media, another Indiana Fever forecast. All right, the Indiana Fever went into T-Mobile Arena tonight to play the Las Vegas Aces, the two-time defending champion, who's on a quest to go three-peat. The Indiana Fever coming off for a really impressive win a couple of days ago over the Phoenix Mercury, beating Diane Taurasi and Brittany Griner. And many of us wonder if this was going to carry over, you know, to this game. How well would the Fever be able to play? Well, after a little bit of speculation throughout the day, through shoot-around practice, some thought that Erica Wheeler was going to start. Katie Lou was also out there. We didn't know if she was going to start, but I had a feeling that Katie Lou was going to start because actually Katie Lou started the last time they played the Aces. And I think at that time, Christy Wallace was injured and Katie Lou had played. Now, Christie Sides went with the same lineup again, which I was asking to put in either Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull would have been a better option to start instead of Katie Lou. But nevertheless, Katie Lou started the game. The game was slow-paced for the first part of the first quarter. Caitlyn Clark, she had 5 assists already in the first quarter. 5 assists in the first quarter, and you don't get no more assists until throughout the game where you had 11, where you could have had 20 assists. But again, this team constantly shoots themselves in the foot. Then in the second, by the end of the first quarter, the Aces was up 26 to 24. And then by halftime, it was up 46 to 37 at that time. They was down, I think we're about 8 points at that time in halftime. Through that second quarter, the Aces started catching fire because guess what? Lo and behold, Christie Sides continued to mess up her rotation. She continued to mess the rotation up in such of a big way where you can't get a feel. During that time, Katie Lou had 3 fouls. She only had 3 fouls. You didn't even allow her to use those fouls up. And if you was going to sub her, why you didn't put Lexi Hull in the game in the second quarter? A bigger person, a little bit more speed that could stay in front of players. Lexi Hull would have been the right person to put in the game because you had Clark playing defense on Alyssa Gray, had the task to DL Caitlyn Clark, and she didn't. She had 15 points, I believe. I think she had 15 points in the game total, but she didn't get no points until later in the game. You know what I'm saying? She got, not Alicia Clark. What's the girl name? Jackie Young. She had 15 points. She didn't get them until like later in the second half. So my thing is this here, why not put a little quicker person? You could have put somebody like Lexi Hall in to put on Kelsey Plum. That would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying? And then you could have probably utilized Kelsey Mitchell a little bit more on Chelsea Gray. But you didn't do that. You kept messing with the lineup in. You know what I'm saying? And this is why people continuously to get pissed off at Christie Sides, because you had a person that is a 2-time defending defensive champion in Celeste Taylor, and you cut her. Now the move to bring in Dantes, I ain't mad about that, because you could have cut somebody like Wallace, Berger, or Victoria Saxon, who ain't really playing, And then you bring in Dantas in the second quarter where you had, I think you had Dantas, Wallace, Wheeler. I think Fan Bentley was on the floor at the time. Alyssa Smith, I think it was Dantas, Alyssa Smith, Tammy Fan Bentley, Wheeler, and Wallace. You had them on the floor because you had Kelsey Mitchell, Boston, and Clark out at that time. And you brought Wallace in for Clark. But if you look at it, Dantas only played 2 minutes, and she took one field goal that was in the mid-range. That's a sweet spot. And me personally, I would have used her more than Alyssa Smith because she was missing shots. She was missing a lot of shots. Now, she had a lot of rebounds. You know what I'm saying? She had 14 rebounds. Boston had 11, but still, she only had 5 points. She was 2 for 7 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? I need to look and see what she was from the free throw line at this point. I'm trying to look. Plus she had 4 turnovers as well. Yeah, she was 1 for 7 from the free throw line. She 1 for 7 from the free throw line, and then she didn't took no 3-pointers, and she was 2 for 7. So out of your 7 free throws, you only hit 1. Out of your field goals, you only hit 2. So apparently, you could have had a big night. That means if you had hit 7 for 7 plus the 5 points you had, that's 12. If you had hit your 6 more shots, that would have gave you around about almost 18, 20 points. That would have gave the Fever, if you had 18 points with they 69, that would have been like 86 points. That would have been keeping it close in the game to at least lose by 2. But you didn't do that. Clark was 4 for 4, but she had a rough shooting night as well. And the execution for this team was so bad. I mean, it's like Christie Sides kept throwing different lineups up there. The team never got in sync. They had chemistry from the first quarter going into the second quarter. Then you made these dumb changes. Like you could have just kept the same energy that you had. You kept changing stuff up. You kept constantly changing stuff up just to find Erica Wheeler and Wallace is not good defenders, especially when you're playing somebody that's aggressive. Chelsea Plum, her step back game is good. She dribbles and she knows how to hesitate in the lane to make you think she's going to pass it. Then she takes quick shots. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? The thing, and another thing, Christie Sides, it seems like Christie Sides is like making Caitlyn Clark second guess herself. Instead of just allow Caitlyn Clark to play her game and flow with the game, she could be better. You know, the team doesn't set good screens. They just half-ass the screens. She getting run over between Gray and Wilson, which they call a foul. But at the same time, she can't escape because they throwing so much at her. And the Aces are a good defensive team, and they a little bit quicker. They're not like the slow-paced Phoenix Mercury. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, they was able to get away with that stuff. But they don't have – Christie Sides, she continues to show her incompetence when it comes to coaching this team. And this is why people don't want her continuously to coach this team, because no matter what the wins this team gets, you know what I'm saying, she's going to find a way to mess it up. If the team does make it to the playoffs, they're going to lose in the first round because she don't know how to execute. And this is where you need a coach that knows how, like, Becky Hammond is one of the best coaches in the league. You know what I'm saying? And she, like, Becky Hammond, she literally worked under Greg Popovich. So she knows how to execute. She knows when to slow the game down. She knows how to pick the game up. And she knows how to use her personnel as strength. When you got an inexperienced coach like Christie Sides, you can't expect her to coach talent that's on the fever, because guess what? A coach that knows X's and O's really well and might not have a lot of experience knows how to come in and get the best out of their team. Because the fact of the matter is, you look at this for a minute. Katie Lou was 1 from 6 from the field. She was 0 for 4, 3, 2 for 2 for the free throw line. But guess what? She had just 4 points. But as she had hit all her wide open shots, that was another probably 8 points we could have got. You know what I'm saying? If she had hit those shots and hit her threes, that could have been a big night. That could have put so much pressure on the aces. Hell, Caitlyn Clark had 11 assists, but she could have got more assists if they had hit open shots. And this is why I keep saying this team needs 3-point shooting from the outside, because they are too inconsistent hitting shots. Katie Lou struggled the game against the Phoenix Mercury. She finally had hit a 3-pointer, which was needed. When Clark is struggling, and then you got let me go back. When Clark is struggling, they got to find ways to get her going. They can't expect for her to just pass, because when she's passing a lot, teams are going to start anticipating her passing, and then that's going to lead to her throwing turnovers. She only had 3 turnovers in the first half. She could have had 3 the whole game. She could have had 20 assists in this game. She could have broke the assist record in this game, because the fact of the matter is everybody kept missing shots. Timmy Van Benley missed a lot of shots. She only had 2 points. She had 7 boards. She was 1 for 7 from the field. She missed a lot of easy shots close into the basket. That's what I'm saying. If they had hit, if Katie Lou, Van Benley, and Smith, Van Benley, and Samuelson, if they had hit all of these shots, they would have won this game. They could have won this game because they was in this game throughout. They got the game within 6 in the third quarter. And guess what happened after that? This happened right here. Now you see Plum bringing the ball up. Mitchell should have came closer. She didn't. The switch was over there, and then you see Wallace backed off of her. That's what happened. Kelsey Plum got off in the third quarter. I'm gonna show you one more time. Here goes Kelsey Plum bringing the ball up. This is where Mitchell should have came up. They were so far back from the screen to where Kelsey Plum had room. And then Wallace didn't step up. Because all they had to do, if Mitchell had stepped up from that point right there, and forced Plum to make that pass over to the big, then they could have been in better position. But you got 2 small people out on the floor and 1 tall person. One more time so y'all can see it. All right. So Alicia Carter goes down there. She came off Gray came off. They didn't even roll with her. She just caught the screen, pitched it back to her, and then that was. The thing about it is, man, Wallace don't need to be on this team. She's bad. She's really bad. She doesn't play great defense. And Christie Sides continues to put this liability on the floor. She continues to do that. And the more she does that, the more it's going to continue to cost this team down the stretch. When the team making strides, when they doing good, she takes the energy from them and she sets them back instead of capitalize on the growth of the team continuously. This is how you build the confidence in your young team. Yeah, when they was winning games, that 4-game winning streak against bad teams, yeah, that was bad teams. But at the same time, there was still a lot of inconsistencies in that point. Then they went on the 2-game losing streak. Then they beat the Mercury, a game that nobody expected to win. But you should have built off that game. You should have went back and watched film on how you deal with that. Brittany Griner is slower than Audra Wilson. So you needed to adjust that to get her, keep her in front. I would rather Audra Wilson shoot mid-range shots than stay under the basket to dominate. At least you forcing her out. Then if she misses shots, you got Boston right there that could get the rebounds easily. There was no and then you having Smith and all of them crash down on her, and she's still scoring. Smith is Nalissa Smith is not a good defensive player either. Again, she had all the opportunities. Caitlyn Clark should have had 20 assists tonight. She would have had, if she had 20 assists tonight, there was no way she would have had. She entered the game at 138. If she had 20 assists, she would have had 158. There is no way she would lose. She would have walked away easily with the lead. But she had 11 because her team doesn't know how to finish. They got a tough game Saturday against New York Liberty. And I'm going to just tell you, if Christie Sides continues to put Wallace out there and not try something different or try Lexi Hull, I'd rather have seen Lexi Hull start. Samuelson is Samuelson, she's slow-footed. You seen that in the game. There was a tip, I think, there was a jump ball, and it was tipped in her direction. Her reaction was so slow to run for the ball. It was two players because Boston was on one side, an Aces player was by Boston. Katie Lou had the whole rebound to herself. She did not even took the time to run to get the ball. The player beat her to it. She was looking for Boston to get the ball. Boston on the backside of her. You was in the front. The rebound, the tip jump ball was yours. The thing about it is that Christie Sides does not know how to. She don't know how to do this with this team. Somebody on Twitter, BJ, that I follow, he said, got a new lineup finally, so that's a start. Now Sides needs to play her best 5 and matching Lexi Hull minutes with 22s because she's the only one who knows how to feed her correctly. Exactly. And this is why Christie Sides want Caitlyn Clark to pass the ball all the time. Caitlyn Clark is going to always get assists, but you don't set play for her to get open to make sure everybody else is getting open. When you got players that can match speed with you, you have to be creative. Yeah, Caitlyn took a lot of shots tonight, but they wasn't going down. But at the same time, you haven't created anything easily. And I do want Caitlyn to start. After this All-Star break, I want her to start working on mid-range shots. I want her to start really come in the second half and making people respect her a little bit more. Dribble drive up, pull up for a floater. Start doing that a little bit more. Then, because what's going to happen, teams are going to respect you because they're going to say, oh, well, she's pulling up. Then when they crash in on you, you could kick out to whoever. Yeah, you could do the pick and roll, but still find a mid-range shot, pull up with a mid-range shot, and bunk it into there. You know what I'm saying? And then when they start doing that, then you'll be able to start hitting your threes because you're in the flow of the game. Christie Sides don't know how to put Caitlyn Clark in the flow of the damn game because she continuously handcuff her. You can't not handcuff a person that has so much damn talent, that's so well-rounded. This game could have been so close. I was looking at it in the third quarter. I said, dang, they have a chance. And then as soon as I see Chrissy Wallace on the floor, I said, no, they don't have a chance because Kelsey Plum started cooking her. Just like Jewel Lloyd cooked her. And quit saying that she's a defensive person because she's not. She's not. Caitlyn game can't expand to where it needs to be because you don't have a coach that know how to utilize her at all. And tomorrow I will be doing another part 2 video of Lynn Dunn and Christie Sides again because it need to be addressed. You can't pick up good wins and come back and play bad. I don't even care if y'all had lost to the Aces. If y'all had lost to them by 5 points, 4 points, or 6 points, I would have been good with that. But just to fall apart, going with 3 minutes in the third quarter, y'all would 3 minutes in the third quarter. Let me see what the score was at that time. It was 54-49. It was It was a 5-point lead. They had a 5-point lead midway through the third. 3 minutes and 29 seconds in the third. The Aces had a 5-point lead. And they went on a run going into the fourth. So that means, guess what? That means you scored 22 points to get yourself back into the game in the third. Guess what? The Aces had 19. Don't you think if the Aces had less than 19 or maybe 10 or 12 points, that would have gave y'all a tie or took the lead going into that quarter, the fourth quarter? Then the Aces scored 28 points. I mean, not 28, but 23 points, and y'all only scored 10. So the 2 strongest quarters that y'all had was the first and the third. The weakest quarters was the second and the fourth. And the Aces kept steady. So you had moments in this game that you could have got yourself back into the game. Missed shots, missed free throws, poor execution, bad defense, bad substitution cost you the game. Some from the players, but mostly on the coach. Again, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Lowlights Sports Media, another Indiana Fever forecast. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. It's time for Christie Sides to be pieces. Deuces. Out of here. Until then, I'll holla.